similar to what we did at the data ingestion part, we will follow a similar pattern at data consumption also. So I have to implement things in backwards. So I will first start with these Lambda function, my second Lambda function, which will fetch the data from DynamoDB table. And then I will add an API gateway to handle the requests. And I will build a front-end app. And the front-end app click on, or accessing this front-end app will help the API gateway to invoke the Lambda function. And then I will place this front-end app in an S3 bucket, and eventually I will set up a CDN, some CloudFront content delivery network, to provide a public URL so the users can trigger this whole flow. So let's go to the Lambda again, and then we can just start implementing this stuff. But first I will show you actually one more thing while we are at DynamoDB table. So my event bridge has been running once in every 10 minutes so that I'm fetching the data and inserting them at like I did in data ingestion part. So now we have a good data flow here that's coming from Kandilli Observatory website. So in DynamoDB there are two possibilities for you to fetch the data, and usually the recommended method is queries. So I just don't want to make things complex here for this application, so therefore I decided to use a scan. When you use a scan request, so that your request is just fetching all the data that's available on the table. So this is actually costing a lot, but since we will not have more than maximum, I think we will have 300 items in our DynamoDB table, so that will not be a huge problem. And but if you query so that you can use some partition key or sort key, so that you would get more filtered results and it will be more efficient. But in our case we are not searching some specific earthquake in the system, and we just if we were supposed to implement something for historical data, like some earthquake that happened in the last 2 years, then we would definitely go for query or some other solution. So let's go to Lambda then, and then we just start our new Lambda function. I'll just open it in a new tab, and okay, we have eq logs function, and I will just okay, so we just need to do this, okay, author from scratch, and then I will call it get eq logs, and I will begin writing it in Python. So I'm picking Python runtime, and I don't have to touch the other configuration, and we are creating our function. So before I start writing the code, I will actually just write a pseudocode so that you get a good overview of what we will achieve via this function. So okay, we can just take this to do, and then I can open up some stuff here. So this function is supposed to fetch data whenever it's triggered, right? So that we will just run first a scan operation and scan the table, and the next thing we will do is the items, they will be delivered mixed. So I just want to sort them, so that we need to sort them by sort the items by timestamp. So that I just don't want to do this on the front end, so it's better to do this in backend, so that the earthquake logs, they just get delivered in a sorted fashion. So I'm not able to do this at the database level because I'm using a scan operation. So if we use the query operation, we could have sorted it. I think that would be a better practice, but I will just do it in a simple way here, and it's only it will sort 300 to 200 logs. That's not very important. So the last thing we will do is, of course, as you remember, we had added an expiry time TTL attribute. So this is not necessary for the front-end application or like the other consumers of our API. So that I should also like pop up that, and I should remove expiry time attribute from the items. So I'll just like rewrite it down. Remove expiry time attribute from the items, and eventually we will just like send the data as a JSON object, an array of JSON objects. So send the data in JSON array. So that's that's how we can split up our task in this Lambda function. So I'll just like again import. We don't need actually a lot of resources for this application, because we will use benefit many built-in functions that are in Python while we are writing this, and we just need boto3 to access DynamoDB table. So that's all I remember for now, and then I can just like write the code to access the DynamoDB resource. So, and then I will just point out to my DynamoDB table, but the name of my DynamoDB table is EQLogs. So if you gave another name, so you just know that you should write the table name that you created. So this will just like help us to connect to our table, and we just need to like make some scanning, and that will be the part where we are accessing the content. So that something can go wrong with our DynamoDB table, so therefore we need to have this in a try except block. So I'll just write it here like this. So, or I can just write the exception as. I like writing first the what can go wrong. Then it becomes much easier. So, okay, what will happen if they say that our DynamoDB table is not available? So we should, I think, return server-side fail with like status 500, right? So, and I will just write it like status code in 500, and then we can write some text for us, some for debugging, and if this happens we know where to look for, and then we can say fail to scan table, and I'm using some interpolation here with the error message that's like being delivered with this. So now we can just like run the wishful thinking scenario, so like good case scenario, so that we will just get the data and then we will run our scan operation and it will be okay. So that we just call it like a response, and then table.scan will help me fetch the data, and then I will just get all the items in this response. I'll just call the response.get and items. So if there is no data, so that as Amazon Q here recommends, we can just like return an empty array. So I think this is good to just get all the items, so we can just like try it and then print it out, and if you will see these values. Or no, actually now I just remember it will not work, but I will still test it, because our Lambda function does not have permissions to access the DynamoDB table, but I think it's still a good test. So we can see if, oh, it says it succeeded, but it says yes, failed to scan table, an error occurred, access denied exception. So similar to what we did in the previous Lambda function, now I should be just heading to IAM, and I should create a policy which will be used for to access DynamoDB table, but this time I will not give write access, but I will give read access. So we just head to the policies, and here, do I have any custom policies? Yeah, these are the customer managed policies, so that I created with the AWS while I was creating those resources. But I will just create a new policy here and specify what actions can be performed. So I always get confused. Should I pick DynamoDB or Lambda here? I think I should pick DynamoDB here because we will access DynamoDB, right? So, and then we will head to the read. And okay, what we do is we do scan. So I think if I only pick this, that would be enough. I don't need to pick query because I'm only using like this scan function. So let's go ahead. Now we have this policy. Okay, why am I not? No resources specified. So I just pick it all. So I need to give a name to my policy. So I just call it for Lambda, and I call it earthquake read from DynamoDB. So permits Lambda function roles to scan DynamoDB tables. So yes, we can just create this policy now. All right, my new customer managed policy, it's here. So now I need to get a role because I will attach this role to my Lambda function. So we will access an AWS service, blah, blah. So now I choose Lambda because I will attach this. So as it's written here, like allows Lambda functions to call AWS services on your behalf. Yes, that's what we want to do. And we need to pick our new policy, which is read from DynamoDB. Yes. So I need to give a name again and call it Lambda read from DynamoDB. And I think now it's good to go. So we just create this role. So it's been created. Now I can just attach this under configuration and permissions and just edit here. So here there was this existing role that the AWS created for me. Now I should pick not this one, I should pick this one because I will read data and just save. Now, hopefully we will see our content now. Okay, so it says hello from Lambda, and this is the data coming from our DynamoDB database. So just remember now, maybe I should also increase the timeout period. It's only 3 seconds. So, and then we can use also like some more memory. It doesn't harm anybody. So that we don't end up with some weird errors while we are testing the stuff. Okay, so now if I go back to my pseudocode, so scan the table, I think this is done. So now what I should do is I should sort the items so by timestamp. So, but where should I do this? I think we should just implement the rest of the code inside this try except block. So, because if something goes wrong here already, it will just return this. Or maybe we shouldn't. I'm not sure. I think it's okay because this Lambda function will not be very long either. So I can just delete this, also print block. So I will just write here. So I need to go through all the, like, I will use the sort function from Python. and I have all the items, right? So I just need to sort them. And here we will write Lambda is also Amazon Q is also like recommending, but this Lambda here, it has nothing to do with the Lambda functions in AWS. So this is coming from built-in Python functions. So, and then we call it and then we just like get timestamp, because we will sort them by timestamp. And so, and then I will reverse all the results, because I want the latest to be on top in the beginning. So I just write true here. So I think this should work. So I can, maybe I will not check it yet. I will not test it yet, because I think that will work. So we can see it if they are not sorted well, so that we can find it out later. And now we can now remove expiry item attribute from every item. So, and then we will just like, again, I will have another loop. So for item in items, so I can just like pop the item expiry time here. And then, okay, I just accept Amazon Q again. So that's good. So now our stuff, our payload will not have any expiry time. Okay, now I just want to test it. So I can check again the items, deploy it, and then see if we see anything with expiry time. Expiry time? No, 0. Do we have data? Yes. And are they sorted? So this is like 13th of April, 13th of April. And this is still like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And 11:41, 11:50. So I think it's sorted. So it's working just fine. And we use 81 megabytes of memory maximum. So, and it executed in I guess 230 milliseconds, so it's quite fast. So that's good. So now the last thing. So we should just send the data in JSON array. So we need to give also like some headers, because now I will not be just sending like a JSON object with status code and body, because that will be accessed by API gateway, and then eventually it will be used by our front-end application. So far I just like accept what Amazon Q offers me here. So the body part, okay, I will just like write the headers first. So, and then we need to give some access control allow origin, and then for now I will give it like star, like wildcard I will use, and because I just want to allow anybody to be able to make this call. So later on, when I have my CDN ready, I will restrict this to accept to only like send the call to a specific place. So, but for now, I mean, I just like leave the door open, so I think it's okay. So, and there is one more thing I think we should do, because we are sending here, okay, I will just deploy it first. We are just sending decimal values, and there is a conversion error related to that. Yes, I think it happened. Or I just did a typo somewhere around headers. On line 23. Let's see. Yeah, I forgot a comma here. deployed? I guess it's deployed. Failed to scan table. Something went wrong. So that's why maybe I shouldn't have written the other stuff inside the try except block, because now it's misleading me. So I'll just like copy this outside, and then we move forward here, but I need to okay. So we just do it here. So now I can view. Object of type decimal is not JSON serializable. So we need to convert our decimal values, as you remember in the JSON object. So we had these decimals. So to do that, I just need to actually convert them to floating number. But I need a helper function. So I just need to create it. Like I need to expand the built-in class in Python. So we call it like decimal encoder, and it will take JSON encoder. So it will have a like, okay, I just clicked tab twice and now it wrote lots of stuff. So okay, it has self an object, and if is instance, I think this way may do the trick. So I don't want integer, I just need a float, and I think rest of it should be okay. So but we just need to also of course use this. So I cannot just like dump the data and these items, but I need to give it to use this encoder. So this way. Okay, something name decimal is not defined, but where? Name error in line 42. Yes, probably I forgot to import something, and because it just doesn't recognize decimal. I don't like working with this console actually, but I thought of I thought of having this everything inside one repository, but then I had to like show you all the steps, because I just want you to see all the steps, every little thing that I'm doing in this course, so that you don't just give up because you're not able to solve a problem on your own. So that's why, I mean, I don't think like working with this console is like very ideal. I mean, it's not my choice, but I mean, you need to just like decide where to stop the implementation while you are organizing a course. So that's why I just want to keep it here, so you just know it. I mean, in a real world application, so you would just like have your repository and pipelines and everything. But now I'm just like trying to make things simple here. So now I hope it will just recognize this decimal as a keyword. Yes, finally it did. So now we are just sending these magnitudes, depth, quality. Okay, I'll just look it up. Magnitude 1.8, 2.8, 2.8. So that's good. So these are like the float numbers. So I think we are now just ready with this, and then this is all we should do to implement this Lambda function. And the next step will be like set it up with an API gateway.